blanket over his head so he wouldn't see anything as well, right? And
you get tied up. He's under a fucking Dora the Explorer comforter.
They had the knife in the back of my neck the whole time. If he moved
why he got such nice... You know what? They were huge Slaughterlord fans.
Yeah, exactly. They were big Slaughterlord fans. So if you get the chance, look up a cover of Slaughterlord because it's in Australia and they're trying to act all gothic. And there's nothing... It's not Europe. There's no castles or anything. It's just like them in front of a sandstone church, like... Yeah, we're fucking like with wind blowing in their ears, but you can tell it's like a sunny, nice day.
The guy with a surfboard goes by in the background.
Yeah. So anyway, Steve runs off.
How long would you say they were in your house in the whole thing?
40 minutes, 45 minutes. Wow. So Steve runs off, gets a knife, and he cuts me free from the cord. And we get up and we start man-hugging. And then the girlfriend gets out of bed and I hug her, make sure she's okay. And then I see her in the corner. And fucking thank God I'm broken up with this bitch, man. Because she's holding the power cord to these hair straighteners and she's crying. And I went, what? It's obviously a delayed reaction of stress that's happened to her.
Right.
Because she goes to Steve, she goes, Steve, why did you have to cut these? You can only buy these in America. Like they were like special hair straighteners that she'd ordered in.
You ruined my cord.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Right. So then we go to call, we're calling 911 and...
Is 911 universal? Is it Australia, England, English-speaking countries are pretty much always 911?
No, in Australia it's 000.
Okay.
In Australia, 000, which is weird because that what's his name, guy from Star Trek, and
Shatner.
William Shatner used to do that Rescue 911 show.
Yeah.
His big thing, and allegedly he was on Opie and Anthony with me and going on about how many lives it saved, and then I proved that many people in Australia died because kids didn't know the right number when they're. Because of that TV show.
And then you just see smoke coming out from under his toupee. He was so incensed at you.
Yeah, because he thought he was
Jim,
a hero.
you have it all wrong.
So anyway...
911 is called.
So 911's called. And while we're on the phone, we hear the door knock, right? And now Steve's got the knife. He goes, who is it? Who is it? And he's a big fucking guy. And then they go, it's the police. We've got them. Right?
How much time had gone by?
They got them before we called. This is less than 5 minutes.
All right.
Two black youths driving a brand new BMW at 4 o'clock in the morning and speeding around like idiots. The police,
and what town was this?
This is in Manchester. And the police went, hold on a second, right?
Hello, gents.
And they caught them. And then, obviously,
DWB, driving while black.
From my registration, they knew exactly where I live, and they went straight back to the house. And so I got my car back, and they said, do you want to point them out in a lineup? And we couldn't. I said, I'm not comfortable doing that because we didn't really see their faces because they were wearing ski masks. Physically, I knew who they were. And
if you could saw my finger, I'll tell you that's the guy.
Yeah. So 6 months pass. We go to court, and they're both sitting there, and they testify against each other. They say, I was just walking along the street because the cops didn't know because they both ran from the vehicle and got tackled from the one 100 meters that way and one 200 meters that way.
Cheers to the Manchester police. That's right? Nice job.
And there's all helicopter footage of this because I watched this in fucking court. Right, I thought they just pulled him over, woo, and then they handcuffed him and all that. I'm going, no wonder my fucking suspension's fucked. It's going through gardens and over speed humps. And I'm just thinking, this car's never run quite right again since that thing. You know. So anyway, they both said that they weren't the driver. One said he wasn't even there, that he was just walking on the street, although he was wearing a ski mask.
Yeah. And
had a hammer on his person and my watch in his pocket.
Yeah.
Right? And they go to him, well, how did you get that? He goes, a criminal was running along the road with this stuff and he handed them to me. And then they go, he handed to me, and you chose to take them. Yep. And you chose to put the ski mask on your head. Oh, in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that.
God damn, you're good. You are so fucking good.
And so I'm sitting there in court going, is anyone believing this? Right now, I'd watch.
There is probably that 1% of your mind going, all it takes is like one person to believe this, and this fucking prick walks out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Weirder things. I mean, OJ got let loose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other guy was like, oh, I wasn't driving. I was the passenger. You can see me running as the passenger from the car. I was just walking along the street. And he was saying that his mate was driving. He goes, he was driving? I do know him, not very well though. I think he's a bad person. And I was just walking along the street, and I was trying to get cigarettes late at night, and he said, do you want a lift? Because that's what you do after a crime. You pick up hitchhikers.
Yeah.
Right?
To blow them.
Yeah. And so he goes, he said, this is all in 5 minutes. He said, do you want to have a lift? And I said, sure. And I got in the car, and he said, hey, you see that ski mask, that machete, and all that jewelry? You can have that if you like. So I put all of that stuff in my pockets.
Wow.
Right?
Well, I guess the cops in England don't need guns if criminals are this stupid.
Right. Well, the thing is, they should have just pleaded guilty and gotten half the sentence that they got in the end.
Anyway. What was their sentence?
12 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. Grievous bodily harm, aggravated burglary, grand theft auto, attempted rape because they threatened the thing, and
that should be more than 12 years.
Yeah, and possession of drugs. They were our drugs.
That's justice.
The cops even pulled me aside. The cops pulled me into one room and they said, Jim, look, they got one more question. Do you know anything about that cocaine that they had on them? And I said, no, I don't.
Should have put it on Steve.
And they said, funny, your fingerprints were all over it, right? And I went, they made me touch it. And they all laughed and we all carried on.
Oh, they knew.
Well, they knew it was my coke, but they were just like, let's fuck these cunts, man. They're fucking... Right?
12 years seems like a small sentence for all the things you
the next step up is murder. You only get like 15 to 20, don't you? You know, like
why so
like
lenient?
Manslaughter.
Is there a death penalty in England?
No.
The death penalty is absurd.
Well,
are you pro or against?
No, I don't think people should be killed. No.
I would be pro death penalty if they actually killed them.
Yeah.
Like if you got sentenced to death and they led you outside and shot you. Like Chris Rock had that great line, like, it costs too much? He goes, because a stabbing chair don't cost nothing. Just sit your ass down. 2 at a time.
Yeah.
But like you see on TV, like on death row, there's guys on death row for 30 years.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And it's because it's with death row in the States, it's an unlimited appeals process. You never run out of appeals on death row. I guess you can eventually. But like if there's people on death row, then by definition, it's not death row.
No.
It's living here row.
Yeah.
Like if you just fucking kill them, kill them.
Well, you know, I don't want to.
I don't want to preach.
Crass. I don't want to preach what Hitler did, but Hitler seemed to do it fairly affordably.
Yeah, go on.
And to a mass market.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we can clear death row up pretty quickly. Like if they're committed to doing it.
He sold death like he was selling Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
he really marketed it, had it in perfect containers, and he knew how to ship it and retrieve it.
Yeah, the engineering aspect of it was remarkable, but like still,
Jim Jefferies, by the way, has a great DVD out. Morally wrong. Jim Jefferies' DVD is I Swear to God, and you can get that if you go to jmohr.com. What we're going to start doing is the guests, when they have things that you can buy, and there'll be a picture of Jim's DVD and Alcoholocaust. Speaking of Hitler, that was the second name. You know, it's Final Solution Holocaust or Alcoholocaust. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go with it. So I like that you picked up the scraps and ran with that. Because people don't realize that. There was about 4 years of Hitler and his guys in a room going, what are we going to call this? Final Solution, Fudgy Sunday. There's a whole bunch of names.
Juno Mohr.
Juno Mohr. Slaughter Lord.
Slaughter Lord was another one.
They Made Me Touch It.
Yeah.
That's special number 3. They Made Me Touch It. That's a pretty good for a special. So yeah, but Jim's. We're gonna start putting guests stuff up on jmohr.com. So Jim will put a DVD photo up of I Swear to God, and it is so good. I remember my wife and I watching it on TV. HBO, right?
HBO and Alcoholics was on Showtime.
Alcoholics was on Showtime. That's not. I don't think you can pre-order that yet. So let's just hedge our bets.
You can definitely get British copies if you've got a multi-regional player, which most people do.
Okay, so if I put a picture of that up on my website,
yeah, you can buy it on the American one. You can buy it in Britain. Definitely Britain and Australia and every other territory, South Africa and you can buy it. In America, you can buy it on Amazon, but it'll be a British copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So go to jmohr.com and then look at Jim's DVDs and click the Amazon link. And by the way, you guys have been buying shitloads of stuff through the Amazon banner on the website. Thank you. It's awesome. I just bought a whole bunch of Coke from two black guys in ski masks with my excess money in Manchester.
It was only a little amount of Coke.
Are you a Manchester United or Manchester City guy?
I'm a Fulham guy, but if I had to choose a Manchester team, I'd be a City guy.
And they just fucking waxed Manchester
Yeah. They're
that was a big upset, right?
We're the richest team in the world now.
I thought Manchester United was.
No.
Really?
No. Manchester City 2
right.
years ago, some Arabs came in and bought it and went, ha-ha, look at our new team. And they spent all the money in the world. Yeah.
You know why they had so much money? They sold their house in Mount Olympus.
Exactly.
Boom, motherfuckers. Suck on that.
That wouldn't even pay for half a player. But anyway. So what happened was we go to court, they testify, blah, 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 against each other. And there was the most Australian thing I've ever said in my entire life. This is the most Australian thing I've ever said. First of all, as I said, I watched too much American courtroom dramas because I didn't know how things went. Because you know how like in Britain, they've all the lawyers have got wigs on. And shit, they've got the horse.
Is that for anonymity, so you don't recognize them out on the street?
You know what I think it is?
They do it in Canada, too.
I think it's the idea of a uniform. This is what I think. It's because
uniform.
You don't have Lionel Hutz. You don't have like Bob Odenkirk's character off Breaking Bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone's got the black gown, the wig. So every lawyer looks exactly the same. You don't get a hi.
Oh, so
have you been in an injury?
I was thinking judges. The lawyers wear that shit?
Yeah, the lawyers wear it, yeah.
That is fucking absurd.
And they fucking love the wig as well. They love the wig.
Do they have my wig's better than his wig? Like that guy's that's the guy.
It's all horsehair, and if you go into their offices,
but are there different wigs?
It's sitting on a wooden head, like next to them. Like
spooky.
I've got the wig.
But are there different wigs? Like, can you style your wig?
There's a little
like a black woman.
There's a little bit of a deal to it.
You know, like black women will have all different types of wigs.
The wig's got to have There can be variances, I think. But I think it's pretty much the flat on top, curly, tight curls on the side.
Founding forefather.
With a little rat's tail.
Yeah, little Thomas Jefferson wig.
Yeah. So that's very popular.
All right, I didn't realize the lawyers did it.
No, the lawyers do it. Yeah, and they do it in Australia as well. So I've been watching too much American courtroom stuff, and they said, you said that you couldn't see them in a lineup. Their lawyer said like this, right? And I said, look, mate, that's the guy with the hammer. That was the guy with the machete. I have no doubt in my mind. I don't even know why we're here like this, right? And then the judge sort of goes, fuck, like that, right? And he goes, day over. Everyone's over. You can't eyewitness someone in a British courtroom unless you've done it in an eyewitness. So that's just be the case. You can't do that dramatic American. It was him. You can't do that, right?
Why not?
I don't know. But I from movies have told me different. But I don't know.
Movies.
The entire jury was kicked out, and we had to start again with a new jury. And I was the guy who was from the government who was taking care of us. I was like, you got to tell me all the different little rules.
He's like, I didn't know you watched fucking Lenny Briscoe on Law and Order your whole life.
Yeah.
I thought you knew how it worked in your own country.
Yeah, I said, I don't know what's going on. So anyway, next day we go back, and then they hand me the machete, and they go, is this the machete? Before I go on, because I get in trouble from Eddie Ifft all the time, please listen to my podcast, Talking Shit with Eddie Ifft.
Yeah.
There we go.
We were on the iTunes charts right behind each other.
That was our highest rank, 7th.
I was 6, you guys were 7.
Yeah.
And then the usual cast of characters that just fucking live.
You can't beat them.
It's like Garth Brooks. I remember Metallica in like 90, I guess. Metallica had an album out, and Garth Brooks had 2 albums out. And those albums would be number 1 and number 3. And Metallica was 2. And Garth Brooks' 2 albums would flip-flop between 1 and 3. And Metallica stayed at 2. And they interviewed Metallica on MTV, and they said, who the fuck is Garth Brooks? Like, they had never heard of this guy.
Yeah.
So,
Adam Carolla and Mark Maron of the Rolling Stones and the Beatles are podcasting.
Rogan's the fucking top of the totem pole. You've been on that show.
Yeah, I did Rogan's. Yeah.
He fucking grinds that shit out. He's the king.
So let's go back to the story. So they hand me the knife.
But I want people to listen to your podcast because you have more moving parts in your podcast than anyone else. You had guys at shows on acid, naked, in body paint that looked like tuxedos. You got homeless guys doing stunts.
We invest all the money from the podcast back into the podcast.